No, I don't really care about the discount rate. I care about the differential between discount rates. If a 50 basis point change makes your stock attractive or it's not attractive, that's probably within your error. I wonder how they treat the Activision deal here. So it doesn't look like they're treating it correctly. The impact of Activision is pretty significant here. Like, man, this growth is great. But the problem is it includes Activision. We looked at SoundHound. What do we think about SoundHound? I forgot already. It looked expensive, I think. Guidance is not great. Revenue grew 14%, driven by 12 points of net impact from Activision. Dogs. Come on, dogs. Okay, so 1.68 billion from Activision. So that would have lowered revenue from 15% growth to 12% growth. Still pretty good. Azure Maia, first party silicon. Can I rent this shit? Hold up, wait. Okay, I typed Maya, nothing happened. We added new AI accelerators. Oh, we might need this. I'll show my CTO. Yeah, I can speak Albanian. Teams premium up 400% year over year. Jesus. They should put the Activision impact in the press release. This is kind of Bush League from the biggest company in the world. Just be like, yeah, you know, revenue did increase 3% because of Activision, but we'll just tell you that on the conference call, or they're going to put it in the press release because, you know, you don't need to know that. We just did the biggest deal we've ever done. EV to free cash flow, 43 times. Tell me Microsoft trades at 43 times earnings in its 2024 current era. Shout out to 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗘𝗢, one of the viewers of the stream, CEO and founder of Replit. Told me he used to watch the stream while he was building Replit, just starting out, leaving Facebook to start his own company, so I inspired him. That's what's up, man. Big love to the big homie. A lot of entrepreneurs, while they're building up their companies, they're watching Shkreli stream, praying for times like this, just to shine like that. They're writing their code. Big shout out to Gary Money. Gary Money's Shkreli broker handles Shkreli Money, all Shkreli's entities and trusts. Gary Mo, GMO. You know what they call GMO in the streets? He's like a hood broker. Feel me? He's at a top, investment bank, but he's really from the hood. He calls himself G Money, Gary Money. Sometimes we call him Triple M, MMM. Yeah. Money maker, motivator. He's the money maker, motivator. All his clients are big money makers, and he calls you up. He's telling you about new funds, new bonds. You want to do this, maybe you want to do that. Minimum account. I mean, if you say my name, he might slide you in and let you in, but he ain't going to talk to you. He might let you do a little 5 mil account. But you're going to hear from Gary once a year, maybe a Christmas card. But you got 50 mil or more, G Money. Ask about him in the streets. You'll figure it out. Gary does, his real name's Gary. Gary does estate planning and mortgages and stuff like that too. But, UBS, Credit Suisse, all them banks, Morgan Stanley, they're only as good as the guy you got. G Money who fights for you, man. He's one of the only brokers I ever trusted. I don't understand. Business is art form. It's beauty. You don't appreciate Microsoft? It's like a work of art, bro. It's one of the greatest works of art ever made. We don't have art like we used to. This is our creativity. This is our channeling of creativity, human creativity, human achievement. You saw those videos I posted yesterday? Alex Jones one. You gotta watch that every day to motivate you. But I'm building a unicorn. I almost have a unicorn. That's not the question. The point is, to Elon, a unicorn is nothing. What's a unicorn? $1 billion company. So what? Really changing the world? You're really moving humanity forward? My response is very, very few people get to bend the arc of humanity, bend the arc of time. Their response was, but you can. I don't know, man. I'm tired. I'm happy with a couple B. I don't need all that. Let you do all that, man. Even if you build $1 trillion company, are you really changing the world? Did Berkshire Hathaway change the world? Not really. It's just a set of great assets bought at great prices. They would have been great with or without being in Berkshire Hathaway. But is Tesla changing the world? Is SpaceX changing the world? Of course, the temptation is to answer yes, but aren't you just another telecom company? Aren't you just another car company? I think Neuralink is a big deal. Not because I think the average person is going to get Neuralink. I hope not. I think that it's a really big deal to people who are sick. Imagine not being able to move and this product gives you life again. Yeah, I mean, look, I read a lot about BCIs while I was in prison and thought about should I do BCI? And we have a EEG consumer device that we play around with for silent speech. BCI is, do I want to deploy? Listen, when I deploy, it's a big deal. So I have to decide before I deploy. Make the build versus buy decision. I couldn't get there with BCI other than, through the sort of Medicare, Medicaid, commercial payer, $1 million implant. And I would imagine that some of these folks would push back on $1 million implant. But if you look at Cochlear, there is precedent. I think you'd have to charge something like $1 million to make it a big product. You're not going to get too many people doing this surgery and implant, and they may not last a lot long after. Some of them will. BCIs are fairly straightforward. I do think things like Control Labs and others will do well. Okay, so this is a company called Eyepoint. It's a $500 million company. So pretty small, big money loser. What YC thing? Y Combinator? From Jason Calacanis. Okay, 𝗬𝗎𝗪, currently in phase 2. I thought I just saw a bunch of revenue. They have 𝗬𝗃 and 𝗥𝗡𝗂. Yeah, the thing about leveraged ETFs is you should be able to get leverage somewhere else. From your prime broker or futures or options or something like. So if you're using leveraged ETFs, it kind of begs the question of like, what are you doing? Okay, 𝗬𝗎𝗪 is not approved, but it has a brand name. Wonderful. That's always a good sign. Oh, I'm thinking 𝗥𝗡𝗂. That's why I'm getting confused. Yeah, exactly. Just use your margin. Your broker's not giving you margin. You don't have enough money, man. Stick to the script. Yeah, it's a good question, Chetan. I generally try to normalize margins. So what I'll do is I'll remove extraneous costs that I think are one-time or speculative spending. So like for Facebook, you should just delete all R&D that corresponds to their Reality Labs product. Because if you're not going to count the revenue coming from it, you shouldn't count the costs. That's advanced, Shkreli modeling. That's only for the realist. It's like 201 instead of 101. Yeah, this is a big space. The ocular space is a big space. So this is dexamethasone, another steroid. Dexamethasone suspension. So this is very similar to the other drug we were looking at the other day from Clearside. If you have no capital and you're trying to make a ton of money, how do you do that? Let me think. Legal, strictly legal? Strictly legal? You have no capital and you're trying to make a bunch of money. How smart are you? On a scale of 1 to 10. 7, okay. Do you have any technical skills? Programming, anything like that? Microsoft's very expensive. Microsoft hasn't been this expensive in a long time. Well, if you don't have any capital, trading and following the markets isn't going to do you much. You need some cash. You need some cash now. I'll put you on the hustle, homie. Go to Amazon. Sign up for Kindle Direct KDP publishing, Kindle Direct Publishing. Use AI to make a bunch of books. Find out what books are in demand, out of print. Carefully work on those. You might just make some bread. No, you need business income. Trading, you aren't going to make any money trading. You need real income. Do some e-commerce. Yeah, marketing's not going to be easy, but you have no capital. So if you find like technical books that are out of print or they're not copyright, copyright's the struggle. Well, let's say Shakespeare or something like that. Most Shakespeare is not illustrated. You can use AI to make the illustrations. You make a really nice Shakespeare. You could even do some analysis on the side or something and, make a Shakespeare series of books that can sell $500,000 a year. It costs you nothing. Phone apps are hard to make. Yeah, you can do some like YouTubes to drive demand, Reddit posts, stuff like that. Once you have capital, it's a lot easier, obviously. Even a little capital, even like $500 or $1,000 can help. You do need money to live off of. I just got this book. It was suggested by one of the Godel members. It's called How to Make a Few $1 Billion by Brad Jacobs. Brad, apparently pretty skilled entrepreneur. Really looking forward to reading this. He's running that QXO stock. Yeah, Samuel, something like that, or you look at the press releases. Great question. You see you're doing the homework. Good on you. Samuel has a future. Samuel Jensen, whoever he is probably nobody right now. He might be a top CEO in 5 years. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, I do think you can still learn a little bit from some of these guys. Probably, I mean, truth be told, to his point, A27 is right. 250-page book. There's probably 2 pages in here worth reading. I haven't looked at Tempus. Is Tempus public? Oh my god, Tempus is public? No way these idiots are public. Yo! See, I learn from you guys just as much as you learn from me. I've been waiting for times like this to rhyme like this. Cuffs locked on wrist. Okay, they got a little revenue. They're doing MRD mostly. It's really a lab company more than an AI company or whatever, but I don't think the AI boom is going to necessarily fizzle out, but it's going to be winners and losers like every other boom. And the winners are going to be things that stem cell therapies are never going to work, in my eyes. We do have one called bone marrow transplant. That's pretty good. But other than that, I mean, CAR-T works, but that's not stem cells. It's very hard to control truly pluripotent stem cells. The amazing orchestration and development cycle of, the 3 germ layers is nothing short of miraculous. The orchestra that God plays in those early days of creating a fetus, it's hard to replicate. You need an incredible instruction manual, the Book of Life. So there are no FDA-approved stem cells other than bone marrow transplant. Yeah, it's all false hope. I mean, it really is beautiful. I mean, the development, if you study developmental biology, it's remarkable. The mesenchyme, do you guys know the other 2 germ layers? You got the mesenchyme, or the other 2? Come on, guys. No, I don't think spinal cord injury's going anywhere. Somebody studied biology, right? There we go. Endoderm and mesoderm. No, ectoderm. What does ecto do for anybody who knows? It's right here on my screen. Too bad. Skin and sweat glands. Like, you couldn't reproduce one of these, let alone all 3. And the intricate timing that the developmental orchestration knows when to start and stop different processes, turn on certain genes, turn off others. I don't believe in God, but this stuff, the amazing intricacy of this almost makes you think, wow, you can go from microscopic cell to what we are, thinking, living beings. It's like magic. It really is. No software, no hardware could rival that. I don't think Einstein believed in God. He talked a lot about God, but he talked about it more metaphorically, I think. All right, let's look at this. What's the dosing of this thing? The problem is Eylea is good enough as it is, and there'll be Eylea biosimilars at some point. What's the dosing here? 6 months? 3 months? It's supposed to be 6 months. Week 32 endpoint. 2 doses. 2 different doses. 1 injection. I gotta say, it's kind of impressive. I'd much rather have every 6 month shot than, what's the 8 milligrams supposed to be? Every 16 weeks? Well, that's only half the shots. So is it really worth it? If everyone's on the longer acting Eylea, I don't think quantum computing is decades away. There's a bunch of quantum computers right now. We actually tried them. We tried IBM's. I mean, assuming there's nothing squirrely in the data and that they're telling the truth, this should become a medicine. Cormorant is the largest shareholder of Eyepoint. That's a good sign. She's a very smart investor. Add him to the list. I gotta look at Tempus, man. That thing looks interesting. It's just relative to the market cap. It's a 700 million market cap with 600 in cash. It's a little ridiculous. The whole company's being valued for its cash. Nobody believes in the drug, or it'd be a 2 billion market cap. And they're raising more. They want more. Now they just want to keep that job, that job. They don't have debt. They just sell equity every day. You get some shares. You get some shares. What's our stock price? Who cares? This old school biotech philosophy. Well, technically we're not going to be profitable till 2036, so we should raise all the money we need until then.